These days, a lot of things charge with USB, so I thought it would be helpful to have one place to charge all my USB devices. This is my USB Tesla supercharger station. It charges all the things I normally carry with me every day, and all on one USB cable. Today, I'll show you how to build one. For this project, we're going to start with a few different digital models. We're going to merge them together into one, 3D print it, and then put it together. To start with, I used the Tesla Supercharger phone charger, found here. I will put the link in the description. I've imported the supercharger you see in the center, and I've made a few different modifications. This was for my old watch. This is for my new watch. I'll show you how I built that in just a second, but first we're going to do the charging surface. So I start with a basic square shape. I gave it a little bit of an indent right here to make the chargers a little bit lower. We'll punch some holes for the wires. We'll drop the charger bases into the holes. Then we'll take a model of the phone. This is the basic size of my Galaxy S10 Plus. We'll bring that down into the model, about there. Let's see how far down that goes. We'll bring it a little bit further. Then we'll need to put a handhold so that we'll have a place to lift it off. That's just basically a oval. We'll merge that with the design. Not quite so deep. Now, let's merge all these models together. And now we have a phone cradle with a dip in it for where you can grab the phone. That's a little low. I'm going to bring it up a bit. So we'll use the undo command. We'll bring it up right around there. Let's merge these two first. Then we'll know where the floor is going to be. We'll bring this up right about here. Merge those. Now we'll merge our gas pumps bases. So now we have holes for the USB cables. Next thing we need is a cutout for the Qi charger. I've lined a lot of these up before we started just to make it easier to show. So now we've got a empty shape that is the same size of the Qi charger and the USB lead that comes out. We're going to find out in the future that we don't need this hole for the USB lead, but we'll leave it. There we are. So now there's a void for the charger. The last little touch is we're going to add this little metal can. Right there. So now we have our charging base. Let's move these two out of the way. We'll get that in the center. If we look, those are not lined up properly. So let's get those. There they are. We'll bring them down some. There. That's much better. Oh, let's merge the trash can into the model. Now the charging base is one piece. There's something I've done beforehand. I cut a channel underneath for the wiring, which matches up to where the USB port is supposed to come out of the charger. So now when we print, this will all be one piece. And of course we have messed up and joined those to this, so we don't want to do that. Joining them together just kind of simplifies it. It makes it one piece you can move around anywhere you like. I will show you how to modify the gas pumps to fit the watch charger. This is the original, and it basically has a cutout for a wire. Let's move these to the center. There's a cutout for a USB wire. There's a cutout behind the letters so that they can light up. And there's a cutout for the posts on the sides of the charger, which we see right here. This base will go right about there. There'll be two of these, one for the watch, one for the USB lead. The next model we'll be looking at is the Fossil watch charger, which is essentially just the supercharger phone charger model. That's a lot of extra words. But you block off the inner holes like so. And then I made this custom bracket, which is just an oval with a circle cut into it. 2 little fingers at the bottom to make the charger not fall through, and a rectangular void to let the cord pass through. We can put that about there. And when we merge the model, what we're left with is a charger with a watch bracket. If we look from the bottom, there is a little place for the cord to pass through on its way to the original USB sleeve. We're going to find out later that this is not thick enough, so we're going to cut one to make this connect to here. But we'll do that manually. It's not worth reprinting. At the heart of this project will be one of these $5 Qi chargers. It's spelled QI, but I've been assured that it's pronounced Qi. You put your phone on top and it charges. There. And when it does, the lights inside go from red to blue. We're going to use that in our design if we can. It looks like these seem to breathe on the blue LED. We won't be using those LEDs. We'll be using these RGB LEDs. If we can power up the blue and the red pin, we should be able to get it to change from red to blue when it's charging. And that will show up in the upper area of the charger that we're using. We're going to put the LED inside with this clear lens. And this should spread out the red light or the blue light to all the letters at once. We've got to make some connections first. So let's explore the inside. I have taken the screws out already. I've also broken the iron core that the electromagnet is stuck to. We don't need any of this garbage. It does have a crack in it, but it won't hurt anything. We should be able to power the red LED off of wherever this power is coming from to light the red one. I believe it's going to be one of these pins over here on this chip. I don't have anything plastic to point at them with, and I don't want to short them out. If we use the ground, we check this pin. No. I don't think it's this second one. No. Ah, it may be the third pin. Let's see what happens when we put a phone on there. If that pin goes dead, when the blue lights come on, because I can tell you .4, that may not be the red light. But pin 2, see how it goes up and down slowly like that? That is powering the blue lights. When they're at their brightest, this voltage is at its lowest, which tells us that this pin is grounding those blue lights. Let's check that other pin, and we will see if pin 3 is the red lights. Ah! That's not the red lights. That's okay though. We have soldered some wires to where 2 of the LEDs used to be. This is the common anode. This is the blue cathode. This is the red cathode. It's a pretty bad soldering joint now that I look through the camera. So we will put a red LED from here to here and a blue from here to here. We're going to put it up in the top of the charger. I had some extra pieces left over from another project, and I figured we could use discrete LEDs or composite LEDs that are built into this flexible tape. These require a common anode and 3 cathodes that can be hooked up to the different colors. With these drop resistors, I'm not sure how it's going to react to having 2.5 volts rather than 5, but it's possible that it might just be a little darker than it's designed to be. That would be okay for us. Okay. Let's see, red. This lead should be red. Well, that wasn't working. There. Gotta hold it still till it cools. This lead should be blue. Let's try it out. I have put the LED strip inside. Let's power it up and see how bright it is. Red when not charging. Very slight pulsing blue while it is charging. That is really excellent. Everything in this circuit is going to be USB powered. These micro USB ports are very difficult to solder to. I think we can use where this capacitor belongs to solder there. They decided the capacitor wasn't needed. Let's find out. .1 volts directly there. I would say that is the proper place to input the electrical wires. It'll be much easier than soldering to this USB plug. To power this project, I'll be using a 6-foot USB cord. The reason I'm using this one is because it's got a nick in it right there. and it's no longer good for anything else. Wow, that does not want to come apart. Okay. Inside of a USB cable, you're going to find a woven shield layer. This keeps interference out. Inside there, you'll find a foil shield most times. That also helps keep the interference out. And then you will find on a USB 1 and a USB 2, you'll find 4 pins inside. Generally, red is 5 volts, black is ground, white is data minus, and green is data plus. We don't need these two for this project. We're going to cut those off. And we don't need the shield. This plug from now on is going to go directly into a USB power supply. It's never going to transmit data again. So we'll only need 5 volts and ground. One of our chargers, this one, is going to be a charger for a flashlight, in this case, or anything else that takes a micro USB. To do that, we're going to feed the wire through the inner piece, plug it in right there, this way when it's not in use it looks like a Tesla charging cable. That's the wrong piece, we need this one. Put that inlay right there. That does not really want to go past. There. It looks like the way this was designed was to hold this wire here while you put that half together. On second thought, I should put the blue wire in first. Because the heavier gauge wire will do a lot to hold it in place. There. That should do it. Now we just need to position the LEDs. I'd like them almost centered. There is one charging station just about finished. Now we need to add the trimmings. These have a flat side to make printing easier. and we can hide that. That's not going to fit through. When this is done, it's only going to have one plug for all 3 chargers. There. The second charging station is for my watch. It's not a wireless charger in this case. It has 2 pogo pins and it's magnetic. That's not the first time I broke this piece. The tolerances are a little tight and it snapped in the printer. It's not pretty, but it's functional. And we just hold it together till it cools. The reason I glue a lot of these things using a soldering iron is because it's very similar to the way they're built to begin with. They come out of a hot end of the 3D printer, which is in essence a hot glue gun. Of course, I got a little gunk on my iron. Maybe I can sand that down when it's finished. But now, it's almost strong. I may redo this piece later, but probably not until we're finished. There's the watch charger. And the watch is going to sit just like this. Now we need to make another LED for this pump. This one's not going to turn blue. It's just going to be red when there's power. There we are. One on each side. And let's only do 2 wires for this one. And now that I've twisted the wires, I have no idea which one is the anode and which one is the cathode. So let's cut them even, find out. That one. We will tie a little knot in the anode so that we know which one's which. We might need to cut a little place for the wire to go through. I think I underjudged how thick the wire was. Since it's going this direction, I think we will cut a little tunnel for it going that way. That should improve quite a bit. That is a lot better. Although this one doesn't want to stay together on its own, I'm going to have to hold it. Maybe we can get a helping hand. Now the chargers are installed. We just need to do the wiring and install the center for the wireless puck. This is my old one. It wasn't quite as advanced as this one. We'll be putting this one inside the case for the old one. Do a little bit of gluing and we'll get it to stay. Before we do that, let's cut a bigger place for the wires to run, like that, which also lets us squeeze down the case to fit through the hole. There. Now, we're going to adjust this so that it's flush with the bottom. That gets the transformer right up to the bottom of the phone, like so. And we'll glue all this together. But before we do that, we should connect the wires. The way I've got this wired now, the red light On this one will always be powered as long as the plug is plugged in to the supply. The watch charger comes in here along with the red lights on this pump. This is the cord for this one. We're going to tie those in here. We're going to tie in the main power cord to this junction, tape it up, secure these wires, and then we're going to run 2 wires to here to power the wireless charger, and then hot glue this into place. We will tie all the grounds together, and then we'll tie all the positives together. We'll solder that up, and then run the last 2 wires to the phone charger. Let's see if everything works. Okay. So the watch charger is lit red. The accessory charger is also red. The phone charger should turn that blue. If I get it centered correctly. So now the phone charger is blinking blue when the phone is powered on. That's exactly what we want. We're going to glue that transformer down. Now I'll always have a central place to charge all of my things. Thank you for watching.